his books was called Why We Can't Wait. Huh? See, they assassinated him on April 4th of 1968. So even though we quote him, we don't realize that even in the midst of him being nonviolent, guess what? They still killed him. They still took his life. And then they killed his mama after he died, which they don't talk about. She was sitting in church playing the piano. Somebody walked in the church and took out his mama to send a message that if you rise up, you will be taken down.
That's some evil shit.
They did the same thing to Malcolm X. They tried to do the same thing to Fannie Lou Hamer, who was an activist from Mississippi, started out as a sharecropper, got tired of out there tilling the land, growing her own fruits and vegetables, trying to take money and having their money be taken, being charged exorbitant prices, so she began to rise up through that political system. And guess what? It was the Democrats that blocked her, y'all. I said it was the Democrats. I know some of y'all faithful DFLers, and that's wonderful. I voted DFL, but let's get real about history. It was the Democrats who blocked her. And guess what some of the law enforcement agents did? They put her in jail. They got 2 African-American men to kick and beat Fannie Lou Hamer, to the point where she couldn't even have children anymore. Okay, that's the kind of violence that has been inflicted upon us as a people. And we're told to wait. And when we see history repeating itself, we're told, oh no, look at these as individual cases. Well, even when we do look at them as individual cases, we still see the injustices in what is happening in this system. Yeah. We need a complete overhaul of this system. Yeah. In fact, we need a revolution. We need a revolution. Because I'm tired of the lies that they told us. I'm tired of seeing history repeat itself. I want to see a better future, not just for us, but for our children, our children's children, our children's children's children, and their children. Huh? Why should we have to accept things as the way that they are? We've seen our governor speak out about other issues. When we shut down a freeway through Black Lives Matter, we saw the governor say that, well, that's dangerous. I'm glad he had our best interests in mind, but walking down the street as a black man in the Twin Cities is even more dangerous. At least we're organized and well coordinated when we shut down a freeway. And when we shut down a freeway, it's because we want to disrupt the status quo. We want to disrupt the economy. Because unfortunately, some people will only pay attention when their money is on the line. Yeah. When they can't get to their 9 to 5. Yeah. And that's a sad reality. You can have people dying right on video, seeing it with their own eyes, and you don't give a damn until you're stuck in traffic. Yeah. Somebody say that ain't right. That ain't right. So for the people who try to talk trash when we're out here fighting against state-sanctioned violence, talking about what about black on black crime? Well, first of all, that's a misnomer. When white people commit crime, guess what? It's just crime. So don't try to call it black on black crime. We know that they're referencing community violence. But we also need to understand that there's a socioeconomic impact that is happening in poor communities. And guess what happens when people are living in poverty? They lose hope. When you lose hope, you don't care if you live or die, and you don't care if your fellow man, woman, or child lives or dies. They can continue hiring more and more law enforcement officers, building more prisons, trying to get another prison open in Appleton, Minnesota, that we don't need, that we know will be comprised of black and brown bodies. We don't need that. Why would you invest in prison and not invest in jobs? That's what people need. Because if they had jobs, they wouldn't be out there hustling in the first place. And beyond that, let's just keep it all the way real. If a black person kills another black person, guess what? When they're caught, they're going to prison. They're going to be under the jail. But when an officer kills a black person, guess what? He might be given a Medal of Honor or a promotion. Okay. That's unacceptable, y'all. Somebody say that ain't right. That ain't right. Say that ain't right. That ain't right. See, my faith in God gives me the power to speak the truth. Okay? I know that some from law enforcement don't like me. I know that some in the powers that be don't like me. But frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Okay? real, because at the end of the day, I want to look my master in the eye and said I did everything that I could while I was on this earth to facilitate justice and to stand up for the oppressed.
That's right.
Okay, that's why I do what I do, because I'm tired of this, y'all. We need to understand that if it's happening to our black brothers and sisters and we do nothing about it, you will be next. Yes. Your skin color in the long run will not preserve you from an out of control, militarized police force. That we keep pouring more and more money into. And I want to address the media for a second. I see some media people out here. The reality is that the media, we know that you're a part of our society. Most people watch the media on a regular basis. Right. But you need to stop taking law enforcement's lines, their press conferences, their statements, hook, line, and sinker, and treating it as the absolute truth. Yes. Yes. You are part of the problem when you perpetuate racist, derogatory stereotypes about our people, and particularly about victims of police-involved shootings. Yes. Why do you have to show somebody's mugshot? Half the time the police didn't even know that person had a record when they rolled upon them and just started shooting.
That ain't right.
And when officers have a history and a pattern of misconduct and excessive force, you don't put out their records. We don't get to see that history. Just like with the two officers who shot and killed Jamar Clark, they both had a history of excessive force. But we barely saw that, if at all, reported in the media. So we're tired of the discriminatory treatment at the hands of the media. If you're going to cover our stories, cover it right and keep it real. That's why we had to turn to alternative media sources to tell our own story. Because we're tired of the lies, y'all. We're tired of the propaganda. We're tired of the demonization of our black brothers and sisters. Yes. We're tired of this system of mass incarceration that's fed by this system of over-policing. Enough is enough. Somebody say enough is enough. Enough is enough. Governor Day needs to declare a state of emergency with regard to police-community relations. We do our part as a community to remain peaceful. We walk the streets, we chant, we protest, we demonstrate, but we are a peaceful people. And sadly, we cannot say the same for many of our brothers and sisters in law enforcement. That's right. It's not a case of no darn good and bad apples. This is about a racist, oppressive system that is harming people. Because even the so-called good officers hide behind a blue coat of silence. Even if they haven't done the beating, they might be coerced into falsifying police reports and lying during police interviews. How are you a good cop when you are participating in a system of evil? You are just as culpable as the wrongdoer. That's what people have to begin to understand, y'all. So we got to challenge this dominant narrative. We have to make sure that Jamar Clark's death was not in vain. That Terrence Franklin's death was not in vain. Who else? Phil Quinn, that his death was not in vain. Marcus Golden, that his death was not in vain. Philando Castile, that his death was not in vain. Those are just some of the people in Minnesota that we know about. There have been plenty of people who've been killed by police whose stories have been buried. Why? Because we didn't mobilize. Because we know we cannot be everywhere. But tonight, we are here. And the governor and his neighbors heard us tonight. They heard us tonight, y'all. We cannot give up, you guys. We have to keep fighting and standing for freedom, justice, and equality, because if we don't do it, nobody else will. That's right. Nobody else will. We are the ones that we've been waiting for, y'all. I said we are the ones that we've been waiting for, y'all. I said we are the ones that we've been waiting for, y'all. We are the ones that we have been waiting for. So what do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. Thank you. Bless y'all. my chest. I don't know.